I'd like to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth, or this truth, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And I would like to say Shalom, peace and blessings to all the Akim across the four corners of the world who push this truth and faith and sincerity, who are the hopeful elect. Peace and blessings to all those that support this truth. I want to go into fighting and suffering in this truth, because if you sum up, or if you wanted to sum up what this truth is all about, being in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible, of course, what it is all about. It's about fighting and suffering. And all us brothers, we understand that this truth is about fighting. Fighting to stay in the faith and suffering through it. Because just being in captivity, being in this body, in this flesh that we in, we gonna suffer. When we also gonna fight. So being in this truth, as we were taught by the apostles, and in particular the Apostle Gabar, he speaks on us being in this truth is about suffering. He speaks on that often. This is what we signed up for, man. We signed up, whether you know it or not, and that'll be more towards the young men that just came into the faith or came into the fold. Whether you know it or not, we signed up to fight, or to constantly fight, mainly with yourself. You're fighting, your flesh is fighting against your spirit on a constantly, man. Your spirit wants to do what according to the scriptures, and your flesh wants to do according to that old man that we were supposed to destroy. And of course, we're supposed to become a new man in this truth. And you're gonna constantly suffer, man. Knowing that we're princes of the Most High, we're kings, and we're in captivity. That's suffering in itself right there. Not being able to enjoy your woman, that's suffering. Not being able to have a woman, we got nothing but a selection of whores. That's suffering. Not having a joy with your children or your sons and your daughters, that's suffering. Have to go to work for the devil that the Bible speaks of, that's suffering. And there's many other ways you can suffer in this truth, whether it be an ailment, dealing with the body, things that go on in your camp is not always comfortable. Having to suspend a brother, rebuke a brother, that's not something you want to do, but it's a necessary thing to do because the scriptures talk about it. And you got to suffer through all these type of things, man. So I'm going to quit rambling, and I'm going to bring out some scriptures. This is James chapter 5, verse 10. It says, "Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." So we supposed to take the men of the Lord, the prophets that we read in the scriptures, as an example of suffering, afflictions, and of patience. And if you go through the different accounts, I'll bring out one example is Paul. Paul went through many sufferings of affliction. That's one example right there. The greatest prophet, Yahushua, he suffered. The greatest prophet outside of Yahushua, as Yahushua said out his own mouth, is the prophet Elijah. The prophet Elijah suffered. So being a prophet, because that's exactly what we are, because we go out on the highways and byways, and we also make videos saying what's going to happen before it happens according to the scriptures. So we're not supposed to be in that spirit of woe is me, I'm catching hell, and it's hard to deal with, pushing that type of energy out there to brothers. Always bitching and complaining about how much hell you catching and how much trouble you going through in this truth, man. Because, like I said, according to the scriptures, if you want to sum up what being in this truth is all about, it's about suffering and fighting. You know, I'm gonna bring out some more scriptures. Okay. This pretty much gonna be line upon line. These are some powerful scriptures. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it. Where is it at? Okay. Let me go back. Salakia. Okay, here we go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start at Hebrews chapter 10, verse 32, and I'm gonna read through the end of the chapter. Of course, reading above it or from the beginning of this chapter is good. I like this chapter. Well, I like the whole book of Hebrews. Okay, so this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 32. It says, "But call to remembrance the former days, in which after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions." And we should thus far along that you are in this truth. Some brothers it may be 2 years, some brothers 1 year, some brothers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, some elders 10 plus years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. You call to remembrance. Once you were, it says, illuminated, in which after you were illuminated, I'm not gonna get the blue letter on it, the Greek root of it, but illuminated means basically to have the light, or to bring the light, or to be enlightened, so to speak. For lack of better words. That represents being in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. It says, after you were enlightened, we all were enlightened with this truth, talking about the men that Yahweh Shem Yahushua woke up to teach this word. It says, ye endured a great fight of affliction. So it says, after you wake up to this truth, it got to come to mind that, look, I've been fighting a great fight of affliction in this thing. Reading on, it says, partly with ye were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly wist ye become companions of them that were so used. And we are a gazing stock. So, when we go out on the highways and byways, mainly, people gaze at us, we're a gazing stock, and being in this truth, you're gonna be made fun of, you're gonna get you're gonna go through afflictions, It's all encompassed inside of being in this truth. And reading on, it says, "For ye had compassion of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling, the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and enduring substance." And be that way to your brother, man. Like, of course, you got to take care of your family. If for those brothers that have families, like I'm talking about a wife and a son, daughter, or both, that you may live in the same household with, but have faith, enough faith to know that give to your brother, and don't give to your brother sparingly, man. If you got it, give it up, man, because we gotta a better, and in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna have a better and enduring substance. All this stuff that we have on this side, we're gonna lose it. It's gonna get burned up, you know. Just speak on that scripture for a second. It says 35, verse 35, Hebrews 10 and 35, "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which had great recompense of reward." So that's just basically saying, stay in the faith. Don't cast off your faith in this truth, because it's going to have a great payback. For everything we lose on this side, because you pretty much lose it all. You lose the care for the things of this world, and it doesn't mean anything to you anymore, because we know we're in captivity under the devil, man, and we're not in our kingdom. So by us staying in this faith, remaining in this faith, we're gonna have a great payback, and that's gonna be the kingdom, which we're gonna have a lot of fun in the kingdom. We're gonna finally get a chance to rest. So I'm gonna read on. It says, verse 36, "For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, ye might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry." That's talking about Yahushai, of course. Keep the faith. Yahushai is on the way, man. He is coming. "Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him." That's a fight right there. You got to fight, to stay in the faith, man. Because you got guys that are getting weak, that are losing the faith, and they are going back into the world, man. And maybe they tried to fight it, but if they went back into the world, they lost the fight. Okay, the last verse, and I'm gonna close out on this verse. It says, "But we are not of them which draw back unto perdition," because if you draw back, meaning you fall out of this truth, meaning you don't acknowledge the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that you were taught about the Bible. If you don't believe in that anymore, you drew back. If you start scoffing and bucking up against the men that taught you this truth, you drew back. And it says you don't draw back onto perdition, meaning destruction. But of them that believe to the saving of the soul. We believe if we stay in this truth unto the end, the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we gonna be saved. We're gonna be delivered. If you want to sum up what this truth is all about in a couple of words, it's about suffering and fighting. That's what we signed up for. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Peace and blessings to all the Akim across the four corners of the world that's pushing this truth and faith and in sincerity, who are of the hopeful elect. Shalom to all those that support this truth. Shalom.